This has nothing to do with the owners' meetings, the NFL annual meeting. This was an article in The Athletic that came out right before the Super Bowl.
Okay. So I would like to handle this one because for personal reasons. A couple of weeks ago, a writer who I didn't know needed some help on something. And I always try to help writers because when I was starting out, writers helped me, and it's what we owe each other. And it was about an hour interview on the phone, a very nice man. And when we were done, he thanked me for my time and he said, "What do you think about the fact that Kyle Shanahan has bugged coaches' meetings with the players, has microphones in the room and cameras?" And I said, "Boy, I don't know what you're talking about. I've never heard of this." He said, "Ask your son, he'll know."
Mhm.
So I got off the phone and I called Iggy. I said, "The craziest thing, Iggy, I was just talking to this man, and he said that Kyle bugs coaches' meetings." And Iggy said, "It's true, Dad." I said, "Really?" He said, "Oh, The Athletic did a whole article about it during the Super Bowl." I said, "Well, I don't read The Athletic. Um, so I don't have a subscription. I don't read much sports anymore. But The Athletic was generous and let me read one article for free. And I read that article. And so what I'm saying is, this is not conjecture on my part. This is not a theory. This is true. Kyle Shanahan snoops from his office. He can turn on a camera and a microphone in coaches' meetings. So let's say the defensive line coaches meeting, he can listen in. Let's say the wide receivers are in a meeting with a coach, he can listen in. I object to this, but I want to say something in advance. I'm not a fan. I'm a journalist. I try to see this on its merits and demerits. Most people watching right now are fans, and the tropism that fans have is to agree with management and to back up management. So a lot of you right now are trying to find reasons why it's okay while what Kyle is doing. And years ago, when Ira Miller and I used to talk about fans, he said, whatever the organization does, the fans will support. And that's just how life goes. So I understand. Right now, you're trying to argue against me. I love it. Fair. I'm just going to have my say, and you see what you think about it. And if you write comments, just please be polite. I'll tell you what I don't like about it. Let's say I have a job in an office, an insurance office, and I have my little cubicle, and I'm doing whatever I do, selling insurance over the phone or that, and I know that there's a camera and a microphone in my little cubicle, so that the boss can tune in whenever he or she wants and snoop on me.
Mhm.
Well, first of all, it's going to degrade my performance because
Yep.
I'm going to be nervous. I'm not going to be able to do the right thing or perform at my best. Second of all, I'll feel that I have a spy on me,
Mhm.
that someone is spying on me. What if I want to pick my nose? Whatever people do when they're alone,
Yep.
and I'd feel intruded upon in a way I never have felt in my life and don't want to feel in my life. Okay, I was thinking about
That's a
this.
creepy feeling.
Oh, it's
A
disgusting. It's
creepy feeling.
1984, where
Mhm.
everybody gets spied upon by Big Brother, George
Mhm.
Orwell's 1984. But I wasn't sure. So I called a retired coach who I know, and I told him what I had heard, no, what I had read. And he said, "I don't read The Athletic. This is news to me, Lowell." I said, "What is your response to this?" He says, "I hate it." He said, "When I was a coach, I was hired because the head coach had confidence in me. He had vetted me. He had confidence. And I would consider it a smack in my face if he had to snoop on my meetings. He should have confidence in me." And he said, "What's more, the players are a team, but the coaches are a team too. We have pride. We try hard. It's a smack at the team of the coaches that Shanahan thinks he needs to do this. It's degrading. And Iggy, that's what I feel. I feel even more, what kind of a person would do that? Would want to be so controlling. If I were a good assistant coach and I had options, I were offered a job at the Niners, but I had options to go other places that were good, I wouldn't go to the Niners. I would
Yeah.
go to a place where I had freedom of activity and where I wouldn't have to worry that someone was listening in, especially because in a meeting, you want to build up trust between the position coach and the players. Maybe sometimes you want to say something bad about the head coach.
Right.
Now, in the
And as a
article,
head coach, you want your players and your position coaches to be confident enough to be able to say something like that.
of course,
Yeah.
in the article, in fairness, and the article did point out that Shanahan has left his coaches the option to turn off the apparatus if something personal comes up. And that's nice of him in the context of doing something not nice. How often can a coach turn it off?
Yeah.
I mean,
How about
really?
for the whole every time? How about the whole time every day?
Yeah, you can't do it. You
No.
could do it maybe 2 times, but if he did it a
And he'd ask
lot,
you about it, right? Why'd you turn it off?
why'd you turn it off? I mean, I need to hear what's going on. I need to
Yeah.
make corrections. So there is the option, but it's almost an illusion.
Right.
So what I get the
Well, you don't have to
feeling,
come to OTAs if you don't want to make the team. You know?
you don't
Yeah.
have to leave your camera on if you don't want to coach here anymore.
Right. That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what I feel is it leads to a lack of morale, a lack of trust, a lack of honesty, and it feels like you're almost a slave.
Yep.
You're almost a slave. And I have to say, this is not a football issue. This is an issue of morals, ethics, um,
And relationship dynamics.
and
Your
relationship
relationship
dynamic.
with your coaches, your relationship with your players. In each case, his relationship dynamic is controlling on his part, which is not healthy.
Right. And also in the meeting, the players could think, why should I listen to my position coach? Because the head coach may storm in any minute and say he's full of crap.
Yep.
So I think it's better what you're saying, relational dynamics. I would not want to work in a place like that. And because Kyle is the kind of person who does that, I don't think I'd like to really be his friend.
No. And, he's always had the wrong quarterback. He finally seems like he has the right quarterback in Brock Purdy, and Brock Purdy does everything right. But at a certain point, Kyle is going to have to give up control and empower Brock. And I don't know if Kyle has it in him. Andy Reid gave up control and has empowered Patrick Mahomes to the point where Patrick Mahomes, if he wants to call a play, Andy Reid will say, great, because that means that the best player in the league is bought in. But Kyle, I don't know if he'll ever get there because the best call is Kyle's call. And if he doesn't have his hands on the steering wheel, he freaks out.
Yes, he freaks out. It's control. I got it, but I'm just talking about microphones and cameras. And here's what I don't like about it. I want to come back to human behavior.
Yeah.
It's sneaky. It's
Yeah.
sneaky. It's
Right.
not above board. Iggy, when
Right.
you were growing up in this house, I didn't have a microphone in your room.
No, because you don't really know where the microphones are. You don't know how many there are. Are there
Right.
microphones in the locker room? Where are the microphones? How
Hey,
many?
listen, Iggy,
Yeah.
are there microphones in the press room?
I would have to assume they are. I mean, I don't know that
You don't
they are,
know.
but why would I think that there aren't?
If he does it elsewhere, why wouldn't he
Right.
do it in the press room so he could hear what people are saying about him? I
Right.
don't know.
Yeah,
I'm not.
you have to assume that he is, otherwise you could get in trouble.
You have to act as if there is. You can't say what you want to say about him in there because if he does it in other rooms, it's possible. I'm not saying even likely. It's possible he's doing it there. So
possible.
you have to act as if he's doing it there. Well, now all of a sudden it feels more like a concentration camp than a football outfit.
Yeah.
I don't like it. I
No.
don't like people to act that way. I like people to be upfront And I like people to give you the benefit of the doubt once they've hired you. And I like people, in this case, men, to be gentlemen. That's how I feel. And so I want to say this, Kyle, I'm extremely disappointed in you.
Yep.
I'm extremely disappointed. It's not how you should act.
I think he got it from his dad. I think his dad did something similar, but it just feels like something a dictator would do.
Yeah,
Straight
it
up.
is.
It feels
He
like
is a
something
dictator.
a
Yeah.
dictator would do. And it's like, look, dude, if you want to sit in on a meeting, get off your ass and walk in the meeting and say, excuse me, you won't notice me. I'll be in the back. I'm not undercutting his authority. I just want to watch. But that's how you do it, dude. You don't just like, no, he's wrong. Like imagine if you're in a class and it's college and you have some supervisor teacher who just starts yelling over a loudspeaker. Nope, that's wrong. That's not how we're going to do it. It's like, well, why don't you just get in here and teach the class then?
Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, I want you to know, for Lowell, the big news from the last few weeks was not what happened at the owners' meetings. The new rules for kickoffs and the tackling and all. I don't even know what they are. I'll learn them. It was what this gentleman told me off the cuff. Hey, what do you think about what Kyle's doing? And I didn't even know. To me, that was the big reveal for me of the last few weeks, and I have to say, sometimes I'm down on Kyle because he can't close. Ray Leonard, when he had a guy hurt, could close. He was a finisher. Kyle isn't a finisher. That's a professional criticism.
He's not a
What I'm
closer.
making now is not a professional
No.
criticism. It's a criticism of his character, and
Yeah.
that's serious.
Agreed.
And Kyle, if I have it wrong, I apologize. If you would like to come on here and explain and show me that I'm wrong, I'm really open-minded, and I'd be only too happy to listen.
And to me, this is an example, another example of his worst quality, which is his controllingness.
I agree.
You got to let go. You are not a high school coach. These are professional athletes. You picked him. The coaches too. Trust him.